Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to Second Son Woodworks. This is part 3 of a DIY wood-fired brick pizza oven build. If you haven't seen the first two parts, go ahead and check them out on my channel and it'll give you all the steps to get to this part of the oven build. Let's get started on part 3. After completing all 4 of the arches, along with the chimney, I went ahead and used my grinder to sand down the edges between each of the bricks where some of the mortar had squeezed out to clean up the inside of the oven. You want to use a masonry disc attachment for your grinder, something that is suitable for bricks, and then just sand down lightly between each of the cracks. And I did this before I closed off the back of the oven so that I could have easy access to both ends, and that way I could get in there with my grinder and clean everything up. As you can see, this created a whole lot of dust, so I would use your air compressor to not only blow out the oven but blow off yourself after you've been doing all this grinding, because you will be covered in dust. After that, I went ahead and moved to the back side of the oven where I began to construct the wall that would be closing off the end of the oven. Now when you do this, you want to really make sure that you seal everything in with a lot of mortar because this will be the back end of the oven. There's going to be a whole lot of heat at the end of the oven when you get a fire going, and you don't want there to be any seams or any loose sections between the mortar and the bricks where the air can escape, because it'll throw off the whole physics of the oven that you are going to be wanting to go for in order to cook a good pizza. I mentioned this in one of the other parts of this project that's posted on my channel, but you want to make sure to offset the seams of the bricks as you stack them. This will really stabilize the structure that you're building. Now, one thing I'll note about this fire brick and this fire brick mortar that I am using is that it is not water resistant. So you can see on the right hand side of the oven that some rain had fallen on the oven before I had a chance to completely seal it up, and it made some of the mortar drip. Now that is the reason that I'll be covering it with a thin coat of just cement mortar on the outside. So keep that in mind when you're building the oven and weather that's happening during the time you're building the oven. After that, I went ahead and went around the whole exterior of the oven and filled in any voids and cracks with mortar so that I could completely seal everything up before putting the exterior coat of mortar. After that, I went ahead and moved on to mixing some mortar, some just regular cement mortar. This is a water-resistant mortar that you can use with conventional cement bricks. And so what I use this mortar for is to create a layer of bricks around the base of the oven to cover up the center block to make it look nice. I stated this before in the earlier parts of this project, but I am in no way a professional bricklayer. I have mad respect for people who do this as a profession because it takes a whole lot of skill. Um, but I did my best, and it actually turns out to look pretty decent. One thing that I quickly realized as I was building up this wall is that you can spend a whole lot of time trying to make everything look pretty as you're building up the brick wall, but in the end you're going to have to clean it up anyways. So if I was you, don't spend so much time filling in all the cracks and the voids of the brick wall as you're building it up. Instead, build it up, and then you can go back and you can fill everything in with mortar, and then you can actually just spray it off with a hose and or use a wet sponge to wipe everything down. I was super fortunate to have my friend Joel come over and assist me with some of the bricklaying. It made the process go a whole lot faster, and it was way more enjoyable. So huge shout out to my friend Joel. You're the man, and had a great time doing this with you. Before finishing the whole exterior brick wall that will be covering the base of the oven, I went ahead and moved on to applying cement mortar to the outside of the oven itself to seal it up. Now to do this, I just used a cement mortar and then got it to a relatively wet state and then rubbed it in. Then I'll move on to finishing the wall, the brick wall, while this coat dries, and then I'll be able to apply an additional coat and then a third coat. Keep in mind that you can use a cement trowel to smooth everything out and or a sponge. You can probably notice that there's some ashes inside the oven, and this is because I did do a test fire and it sparked right up, which was awesome. But I would recommend doing this so that the bricks can settle with the heat before you apply the exterior mortar. After that, I went ahead and moved on to completing the brick wall that covers up the center block around the base. Since this was my first time laying bricks like this, beforehand I did watch a ton of videos, read some articles, and try to get some tips on how to use the trowels and how to lay the cement. So I would recommend doing the same. After completing the wall, you can actually just rub mortar into the cracks where it's missing. This takes a whole lot less time than making it perfect as you're building the wall up. And then once you've got all the mortar rubbed in, you can use a bricks tool that I use to define all of the marks between the bricks, and then you can use a hose and a sponge to wash everything down. After that, I went ahead and completed the last coat of mortar that is on the exterior of the oven itself. And I actually kind of rubbed in some mortar around the base to kind of make it look like the oven itself was sitting atop the bricks. When I applied the last coat of mortar around the chimney, I then used a chimney cap or a top, kind of like a little hat for the chimney that will block sparks from flying out as you are making a fire. And then you can just set that into the cement and that will secure it. Once everything had completely dried, I went ahead and took my sander and cleaned out the outside of the bricks where some of the mortar was still rubbed on and kind of made the bricks look gray. Just wanted to clean everything up. I just used 60 grit for this. Once that was completed, I went ahead and gave the whole top with the mortar a nice quick sand, because then I will be moving on to painting it gray. I had some leftover gray patio paint that I used for the exterior of the oven. This not only sealed it up, but it made it look really nice. After I completed painting the exterior of the oven, it was done. And man, was I excited. So I invited a bunch of friends over for my first ever pizza party. And a huge shout out to my brother Bo for making the dough for this pizza party. The dough was amazing. It tasted so good. And then also a huge shout out to my friend Matt for teaching us all of his pizza skills, showing us how to throw the dough and to cook it. And the party overall was a huge success, and the oven didn't crumble, which was awesome. So check out some clips from the party.
Let us know if you need
Just need my dojo. That's it.
your dojo.
Check out this fire. That's
Alright, Matt, what are we doing? Matt, what are we doing now? We're slinging za.
We're slinging the
We're
za.
getting the press.
Where did you put that butt hair?
Let me see moving some of our bubbles around here.
Oh, the butter.
Smooth it out.
I don't know. I didn't.
Not too much, because too much handling. Just give you a little
It's somewhere in there. Somewhere in there.
too tight of a dough.
You put some of that mustache hair in there?
I did. So it's a special little zing. So we get a little press into the hand. Rise that crust on the side here. Give it a good spin. Just keep it moving. Keep it spinning.
My favorite man right now.
Now give the bottom a little
How do you
press.
feel about hiring a professional for this?
I think this is awesome.
A little toss here. Give it a little stretch in the middle.
Wide angle of this.
This is awesome. Oh yeah.
Ready?
I hope the dough is working.
There we go. This is a true test of bow right now. Just feel this dough. Oh yeah.
It's feeling like, that's looking like some good wow.
Yeah, you gotta get this.
It's just too glamorous, you know, to give it the old toss.
Oh.
Jeez.
He's a little rusty,
Tight,
but
a
he
little
still
rusty.
got it.
You still got
We can
it,
edit that out. This will be fine.
dude. This is great.
How big to get here?
I don't know either. I think
think
probably
that's-
about a 12-inch pie.
Yeah.
4-inch pie.
It's looking, we want thin, you know, it's like Neapolitan style.
Yeah.
Thinner, but not.
Crispy.
I
Kinda
was.
charred.
I have a bad habit of breaking through my dough.
It's the gentle fingers is what you need.
Yeah, you gotta feel it. That's
sweet.
it. Oh yeah. Wow.
This will be different than throwing a lot of flour in the. What you should do, Caleb, is get a perforated peel
Well, the wood ones don't stick.
on the next.
All right.
June! June! What's happening?
Croutons in the pizza, is that overkill on the bread?
I do it. So why not?
I mean, I guess we could.
Thank you, man.
What do you think,
Awesome.
I would.
Croutons?
I'll take it out of your hand.
Oh, thank you.
Run over. Hey.
I'm gonna add the basil afterwards. I'm not much of a cooked basil kind of guy.
Perfect.
Makes it a little slimy.
We're gonna do some age.
Alright.
You're gonna slide it off onto this one?
I don't know.
Or are you just gonna
What I
toss it?
do is like,
Give it a like a.
yeah, how do I do that?
Let's see if I can.
Oh yeah, you'll
Oh, yeah.
get it off.
So when you're doing it, I would like keep it moving.
Right.
Like keep it shifting, like right,
Okay.
even like right now.
Start close so it doesn't fall. It's alright, you can be careful.
Getting,
And then,
Wait, no. Let it.
on
Yeah.
the backside.
Because you'll have to
Because
spin
if
it,
these
right?
stones are pretty hot, it's gonna cook that up. See, that's still pretty soft.
the stones up here probably aren't that hot.
Still needs a little bit. I think that crust is gonna be okay though.
Thank you.
No problem.
Is it cooked on that other side?
It's cooking fast on the
Yeah.
other side.
And that's kind of the idea, I think.
Shoot.
It's super hot here.
Hot.
Here, you want to use the other peel?
Yeah, here.
I mean, just the.
We'll put this in the outtakes.
At it.
Woo!
Do you have like a tongs? Wouldn't tongs help to spin it?
I don't know.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's gonna be good. Once you kind of get it.
So I'm going like kind of big pushes, but not too big. That's definitely a problem there in that corner there. So I'm gonna spin it from the other side.
Yeah, you can see it.
See that
oozing.
bubble there? So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I got that little one if you want to use that.
Oh, carrying some of these glasses out here now? Yep.
Dude, this is sweet.
Your ones are in here.
It's pure art.
The moisture, yeah, looks kind of like burning.
Are you posting stuff on Second Son or your account?
Yeah.
My butt's sweating.
Dude, love that oven.
Coming over.
Yeah, man.